Don't play yourself. I've said this many times. We're back today with the Unlimited Power Podcast, and today I have my good friend here, Khayrallah. I always say his name incorrectly, but he says it's okay.
You're fine.
Anyways, and today we're going to be talking about masculinity and femininity in general, but not very specific. And what actually inspired this conversation we're going to have was a conversation I had with another friend of mine, Carla, in the last podcast. And Khayrallah commented and was talking about, the expectations that men have and women have, and how it's okay for women to have certain expectations and it's not okay for men in today's modern society. And immediately I saw that, I was like, that's actually a really good point. So tell me about that. What inspired that thought?
True. So, like TikTok now is very open and like everyone can look.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, when you encounter this stuff, and especially it's made for kids, when you see that people are embracing their sexuality and their feminism upon little girls, you will stop and rethink about everything. And for instance, like I saw something last time. It was for fun, okay. But the thing is, there was a woman, okay. She will put the qualification for the man. It leads to the best qualification, okay. If you see the comments are very, hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
How can you think about that? And when I do the same scenario for me, if I did the video, I'll be roasted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I cannot demand. You cannot ask a woman to be like whatever you want, but she can ask everything.
Right.
She can be. She can dream of you, but you cannot dream of her. And when you try to tell her like you need to wake up, you need to chase your dreams. Of course, like just giving an example, she will be like, toxic masculinity. Why are you projecting all of this on me? It's just like it's obvious.
Yeah. It's crazy you said that, because as you were saying that, I was just thinking to myself right now, isn't it funny how the same women who are like, we're equal to men and we want this and we want that, when you treat them the same way, for example, a man would treat another man, they have a problem with it. Or they still want double standards. They want the benefits. We were talking about this just a few minutes ago. Yeah. They want the benefits of being women and how men treat women, and they also want the benefits of being a man at the same time.
Yeah,
and it's like you cannot eat, this famous saying, you cannot eat your cake and have it. It's like you want the best of both worlds without any of the suffering of any of the worlds, right? Any of the downsides of the worlds. And it's so crazy, because it's like it's become a very accepted thing in the world we live in today.
Society.
In society.
Yeah, exactly. And you said something about how they put themselves in an illusion that we are living in the best world and we should be equal as men, They have a point at some point. You cannot deny that some things are not equal, okay? But some things are born like this, or meant to be like this.
Right.
You cannot change the fact. You're changing the weight of God. Isn't it how the world is created from the first place? You're changing the role of a woman in society, and that's huge. It's not like before, like a woman, how can I say it, should have a family, should have kids, should know how to raise. And now it's changing, it's shifting to another level. Like she should focus on her work more than her house.
Yeah. Yep.
It's changing a lot.
And the crazy thing about this, nobody benefits from this, because at the end of the day, men and women, we need each other to live and to function properly. But the only people who benefit from this are the people who are at the very, very top of society, because you have an increased labor force. Sure. When you have an increased labor force, it's inevitable that people get paid less because the labor force increases. And then there's more reliance on government and society for everything, because the family unit is being broken down. So now it's like the government is now seen as like the God figure in society. So instead of people even resorting to family the way they used to, now everything is about the government. What can the government do for us? What can the government? Because everybody is now becoming like a child of the government as is. So it's like, while you have, and in my opinion, it's a demonic thing, like to try and pit men against women and women against men, because we're not supposed to be in opposition. But while this is happening, it's detrimental to both parties. It's like there's no benefits for either. You know, neither men or women in the whole thing. It's so crazy to me.
Exactly. Like we are different. We cannot deny that. We are different. But this difference is used to dance with each other.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. It's compliments. Right.
Yes. We need to live together. We need to live through all of these steps in order to have to continue. I'm not saying the only role for a woman is to reproduce. You know, it's not like this.
Yeah.
But it's inevitable.
Yeah.
You cannot deny it. It's there. It will always be there.
Yeah. 100%. You know, as you were talking, something just occurred to me, because if I said to you, or I said to anybody, that nurturing a family is a woman's most important role, they might say, so what exactly is a man's role? But I think in general, family and the cycle of life is essential, because God wants us to be fruitful and multiply, right? So it's like the cycle of life and how we continue life is essential for both men and women. It's just that we are functioning in different ways. For example, there's a very famous saying that I heard. I don't know if you listen to Andrew Tate, very controversial figure. Very controversial to people. Yeah. I like him. But anyways, he said something, and it's so true. He said the closer you get to survival, the more people resort to their natural gender roles. Now, if you think about that, it's like if you live in a civilization or a non-civilization where we're almost like in the jungle, naturally, men will take up the role of protectors and providers. Women will naturally take up the roles
without prior experience.
It would just naturally happen. It would just naturally happen.
Yeah, okay.
You know? So if you look at life that way, I still think that our goal is to continue to be fruitful and multiply as a species, right? But I think we are doing that in different ways. I still think that men are supposed to be providers and hunters in that sense, while women are supposed to be nurturers, because it's a natural God-given gift that they are good at. Yeah, you know, and we are good at going after things.
Yeah, and that's when we're talking about chasing.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Which leads to the other point about chasing.
Exactly. The same point all over again. But the thing is, as well, what do you think about all of this? How do you?
I look at it. I really think it's sad.
And about the hierarchy, you mentioned it with Carla.
I think it's quite sad what has happened now, because I don't even think these are things that we really should be finding complicated issues, to be honest. I think it should be just really natural. But like I said, in my opinion, I understand how the world works, and I understand how the devil works in a sense, because everything that God has created in a certain order, for it to be Antichrist, it has to go against that order, right? So everything that the devil tries to push is exactly the opposite of what God has given us. So it's like, I look at it that way, and I'm like, okay, every evil is just evil. Whatever kind of evil is still evil. You know what I mean? Like, okay, for example, it's like, this is not a good thing, but it's not a thing that is mind-blowing to me anymore, because I understand that evil is evil. You know, they're just different forms of evil. But I do genuinely believe that people who have this a consciousness of God, men and women, are the couples that end up being the most successful, because they understand their goal as a family. In life, you mean? Yeah, in life, individually, and as a family, as a unit. And they're able to function that way, because they know, okay, this is how God wants us to do it. This is what God wants us to do, and they do that. But then I look at society with...
And then how can you explain gay marriage? How they can succeed? You know what I mean? They can succeed as well. It's not just on me and you.
How can they succeed?
That's the question. That's the real question. They succeed because they want to succeed.
But how? What is success to them? What is success in that sense?
I think success for them will be to have a big role in society and to convince as much people as possible. Okay,
but let's say they are successful with that. Okay. But is that good success? Is that a positive thing to society to be successful?
For them, it's
for society. In your opinion, as an individual, do you think that would be good for society on a whole?
It would be good on society as a whole. No, it's changing. It's changing. It will change everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the British government is changing their laws according to the gay marriage and that stuff. Like I told you, they can now make a baby.
Yeah.
So, they're changing everything. And eventually we will reach a point that no one knows his role anymore.
Yeah.
Both genders.
Gender neutral, that's what they call it. You know?
Yes.
Binary or whatever. Yeah.
No one knows. And after that, what will happen?
Only God knows, bro.
That's why singularity.
Singularity, right? Bro, it's a crazy world we're living in. But
it is.
I will say this though, that you know how I look at this, right? Science, right, is like a study of nature. Mm-hmm. So that's what science is. And God has given us the ability to do anything that we want. We can accomplish. I really genuinely believe this in my heart. I really believe anything that human beings want to accomplish, if we're united in trying to accomplish that thing, we will, 100%. Now, and it leads me back to like a story in the Bible of like the Tower of Babel, when they wanted to build a tower to reach heaven. God knew that they were going to be successful at doing it, and that's why he stopped them and he confused them by giving them different languages, which is why I think we have a different I'm going on a long path to get to somewhere.
Yeah, it is, but okay. I can't understand what you mean.
What my point is, today we have discovered so much, right, in life, and we either use it for good or for bad. But I was talking to a girl one time, I can't remember, and I was like, I said, listen, not even that long ago, a girl in our uni, and I was like, she was saying that abortions, women should have the right to have abortions and blah, blah, blah. And I said to her, look, all of these issues that we're having today would not exist if people did things in an orderly way as they should have. If we listened to God and did it the way God said we should, you get married first, then you have sex, instead of doing all these things, we wouldn't have these problems. We wouldn't need to create birth control or all these other things. Because she was saying, oh yeah, well, even if we have sex, we have this to control. And I'm like, those things listen, we have the ability to create things, but God did not design for us to be doing it that way. Why should you have sex and then have to be taking a pill so that you don't give birth to a child? It's not a natural order of things. And I was like, look, the obvious excuse most people will say is, oh well, what if rape happens? And these are like extreme situations, right, where extreme situations deserve.
You cannot deny that. That's right. What happen. It may happen, but extreme situations have extreme answers or different ways to look at. Okay.
But I'm like, on a regular basis, just like this homosexual thing you're just talking about, if we do things the way God designed us to do things, we will not be creating these problems that we have today and then trying to create a solution again for the problems that we have. Just follow God's order. We wouldn't have all these problems, like the confusion that we have today in society. And now we're talking about being gender neutral.
But you cannot, if everyone's think the same, we'll be like, robots, but each one think differently. That's why we need to create, for each situation, how do I say it? Like a solution.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But you see, the fact that we think differently is exactly the reason why we need to have like an umbrella of truth that we all can agree to. Because if we all give into our inclinations, like I was saying to you just a bit earlier, it will be complete chaos, man. Believe me. Sure. Because what I want is not what you want, and what somebody else is not what the other person wants, and everybody's going to think my way is the best way, and this way. If there is no truth, no objective truth, society will completely be destroyed.
So can it be law, this truth?
I think society to a degree needs laws.
It needs to be more divine, more...
It should be more divine. That's what it should be. Okay,
so law doesn't work.
If we all loved each other and we had the love of God, we would not need any laws. We would know what we should do if we did. We would not need any laws, right? But I think, that's a good point you mentioned, because it just brings up a conversation that we had with our father Lufrani, who's not far from us. True. We will talk about the civilization of love.
Yeah.
If we all loved everybody the way God wants us to love everybody, we wouldn't even be talking about these things. They would not exist. You know what I'm saying? It would not exist. But because we're living in a fallen world as is right now, we need laws. We need things to keep society at some kind at some kind of balance now.
So what do you think about an eye for an eye? The saying?
The saying, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth.
Eye, yeah.
I do not agree. I do not think that is a...
Is it a good?
No.
Good at some point?
Okay, let me put it this way.
Would you believe in revenge, or you believe in...
I don't believe in revenge, because I think revenge is for God. Vengeance, if the Lord says vengeance is mine, right? So I don't believe in revenge. I do, like
what do you mean? It's only
meaning that let God handle it. Like it's God's business. It's not for you to go out and try and have revenge for yourself. God will take care of it as He pleases, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that vengeance is a bad thing.
Okay.
But in a society where people don't believe in God, what are they going to do? That's the question now, right?
Yeah. So they believe in I, don't I?
They believe in that.
They will seek for revenge
Yeah.
at some point because they were hurt. You know what I mean?
True, but I don't think it's a good thing. I think it's the wrong thing.
It's not a good thing.
It's not a good thing. You know,
No.
and I don't think it's
a blood for blood as well. You need
it doesn't
to kill,
help. It doesn't help. It doesn't help.
That will create a cycle. You know what I mean?
And the cycle never ends.
Exactly.
It's funny.
So
I was watching.
Kill.
Have you watched the movie Troy?
Yeah, no, I've heard about it.
Okay. There's a scene in the movie where they're at war. The Greeks are at war with the Trojans and whatnot, and Hector is a prince of Troy, and he kills a cousin of Achilles, who's this great warrior from Greece.
Okay.
And Achilles was in love with Hector's cousin. Complicated thing. But anyways, he goes and he kills Hector. Mm-hmm. And she says she's talking to him because she's sorrowful, and she says your cousin was killed, and now you've killed mine. And she says, when does it end? And he's like, it never ends. It never ends. It's a cycle. But isn't the world like that?
Yes.
We keep having war after war after war after this.
Why do you think? Why do you think? Because we're controlled by our mind. We're controlled by our ego. It's way ahead of us.
Yeah.
You know, like if I need to love you, I need to put a condition. Like I can love you if you do this. I can love you if you do this.
Right.
If you cannot do this, you're not fulfilling mine. You're not meeting mine.
Is that love?
It's not.
Yeah.
Love doesn't have an opposite. You know what I mean? Like, if I have feelings, it does have an opposite. I don't have feelings for you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But love, you will love unconditionally. Whoever the person in front of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
God loves unconditionally because I guess he does the best for us regardless of what we do. But I also do think that if you love somebody, you will do what's best for them, right?
Yes.
But, yeah, I guess, yeah.
But what best for them may not be the best for you. You will put yourself, you know, you may put them at ease, but you will put yourself in a not comfortable place.
Well, then that's the true sign of love, right? To sacrifice your own desires for somebody else.
Is it?
I think so.
Wait. Sacrifice, of course. Mm-hmm. Of course, if you need to sacrifice for someone, yeah, it is a sign of love. But
in fact, I think that is the essence of love. Now that I think about it, because I remember a scripture where Jesus said, greater love hath no man than this, and he should lay his life down for his friends. If you're willing to give up something for the good of somebody else, there is no greater form of love than to sacrifice your own self for somebody else. You cannot love anybody more than that.
Okay, I see. I was talking about the early stage of love, you know?
In what sense?
In what sense? For example, if you want to enter in a relationship now, okay? Would you sacrifice? Would you put something to sacrifice?
If you want to enter into a relationship,
yes.
Or if you are in a relationship?
You want to enter. Like in the first phase, you're just talking.
Right.
I don't know how to explain it more clearly, but...
Give me an example of the kind of sacrifice you mean.
An example. I don't have a specific example. Maybe we can talk and then I can remember something.
Okay, but I mean in general, if I think about it, if you want to be in a relationship with somebody and you feel like you have to sacrifice to be in that relationship, I think the question you need to be asking yourself is this sacrifice...
worth it?
Not just worth it, I mean, is it good?
Would
it bring about something good?
Wait, maybe before marriage.
Okay.
Before marriage, because love will come after marriage. That's what they say.
Who says?
I think everyone says that love comes after marriage.
So you sign a contract and all of a sudden you love.
No, not sign a contract.
Right.
But like I told you, love is too big. It's too big to say to someone, "I love you." It's just like maybe. Like I said before, there's no opposite to love. Once you love someone, you love someone. Mm-hmm. There's no coming back. And in order for love to be so true, so vivid, it needs time. You need to know the person.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but what form of love are you talking about? Though, because
real love.
Okay, but are you talking about love between a man and a woman?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, if you talk about love between a man and a woman, because there are different types of love, man. Like, for example, I can say I love you as a brother, or I love someone as like...
Yeah, of course.
That's different.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Yeah, I understand. Like, there is different kind of love, but I'm talking about...
Man and woman, right?
Man and woman.
Okay.
In specific, like in a relationship.
Bro, you know what? I'm being honest with you right now. I think the same way you love a woman is... Honestly, it's the same way you love everybody else. You know why?
Okay.
Because you're still have the best interest of that person at heart. I can love somebody that I don't like. You know what I mean? The difference between a woman...
That would be pretending, right?
No, it's not. Because it means I will still do what's best for that person because I know that it's honoring God. Even though I don't like that. I may not like being with that person, but I know that if this can help this person, I will do it to help this person. That's love. It doesn't mean I like somebody. What I think you might be talking about is affection between a man and a woman, because that's different. Like you can have a lot of affection for somebody that you don't love because you think you love the person, but you're not doing what's best for that person. So in your mind, you love that person, but in reality, you don't.
You don't.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So
once you have this like uncertainty in yourself, like you're not sure if you love this person or not, this is not love.
No, but what if you think you love the person? You're sure that you love the person.
How?
You just believe that you love the person. Most people, including me,
believe.
When I was young, if I had a lot of affection for a girl, I could think...
It's an affection.
Exactly. But if you don't know it's an affection, you would think that it's love.
Yeah, because you never experienced love before, maybe. Yeah, exactly.
But that's the point. Love is not... You know what's funny? Love is not even an emotion, bro. It's not even an emotion. So all those things are just like an illusion, because...
It's a mix of emotions. We cannot deny the fact that when you first meet a girl, you're attracted first physically.
True. 100%.
But girls are in the same. They're not attracted to you physically. They're attracted to you personally. That's what they say.
That's cap. That's cap. That's cap, man. You know that's cap. That's cap. Bro, we're all visual beings, man. We're all visual beings.
But
you know?
They say that we are not like them. You know what I mean?
We're not
like looking them, sexualizing them.
No, but to be honest, let's be honest. I think that's hypocrisy. I think men and women both do the same thing in terms of like looking at each other that type of way. Like, if I see a woman that's a voluptuous woman and she looks good, I'm not going to lie to myself and say, "Oh no, I don't think she looks good. She just has a nice personality." That's just a stupid lie to say to myself, man. Sure. If she looks good, she looks good. Yeah. That's just the reality,
exactly.
Man.
So it is reality.
So yeah, but but going back to loving a woman specifically, it's no different than loving anybody else. But the affection I may have for her, I don't have for everybody else, because there's a special thing between a man and a woman, you know. Okay. And maybe I think that form of love, now that I think about it, you know, there is that form of love connected to affection between a man and a woman. But at the end of the day, if you really love somebody, whether it's a relationship between a man and a woman or anybody else, you will still try and do what's best for that person. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, it's still the same goal, right?
Even put him first before you, before yourself.
At some points, you will have to do things like that in life, right?
Wow.
If you're always putting yourself first, then it means you love yourself above everyone else.
Not always, but at some point you need to do it. You need to put yourself first, because everyone is taking advantage of how nice you are at some point. Right. You know, you will seem like too nice. He's very nice. He's very sweet. He did this, you know. So maybe they will take advantage of you. Let's consider you have a car. Okay, you're the only one who have a car in the group. Mm-hmm. So all the activities you do is all with your car. Mm-hmm. At some point you will feel like you're used, right? So that's why it comes like, okay, now I need to put myself first. Now I need to put some limits, because it's not bearable anymore.
Well, I don't even think that's putting yourself first. I think that's just common sense, man. I think
it is common sense, but like, how can I explain it more? How can I give you an example? I guess you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I do get it 100%, but I don't think that's putting yourself first. I think that's just being reasonable. I mean, any relationship where you're the only one giving and there's nothing, you're not getting anything back, it starts to feel like I don't know, it feels bad, because it almost feels like you don't feel any love back. And at the same time, for the person who's always
energy.
Yes, maybe
you're not giving the same energy.
Right.
Yeah.
But even for somebody who's always receiving and not giving back, I'm sure they also feel bad about it, because it's like there's a saying, I heard this from, I think, my mom when I was young or something, like a river, a Dead Sea. It's like, when waters are coming into like a place and there's it's not flowing out, it's just getting stuck in there, and then it becomes stale. Okay. Right? You know what I'm saying? It's not flowing, right?
Okay.
So it becomes stale. Anyways, I said all that to say what exactly?
Whoa.
Well, the whole point of what I was basically saying is that...
No,
I was just saying that every relationship is give and take, right? And I think if you are around people who are comfortable with just taking and not giving back, then you know that those guys are really strange, because it even feels strange as a human being when you take so much and you don't give back, right? Yeah. Wouldn't that feel strange to you? Like,
exactly. Imagine if I'm just taking.
It's odd, man. It's odd.
It is odd.
So I think if you're around people who are comfortable with that...
If he or she is not expecting something in return, why stopping this, right?
The person may not be expecting anything in return. Okay, this is a very deep conversation, because...
It is another matter, though.
Yeah. But it depends, no?
Of course, it depends.
It depends. But speaking back to what we were talking about originally, which is like the whole thing with women, man, I would say any wise guy today, man, I think you need to pick your woman very carefully, man. And speaking of that, we're always talking about, people always talk about, like, women always talk about picking the right guy, guys always talk about picking the right woman. Be the kind of guy that attracts the kind of woman that you want. That's what you need to focus on being, man. Sure. Being the kind of person that you want a woman to want, and then you get what you want.
Sure, but once you realize that you have your peace and you are manifesting your energy, you will attract. You will definitely attract.
For sure.
Exactly.
But it takes time to get to that place, right?
Of course, because you need to find the right person and the right everything. But you will attract them for sure. Because they will be forced to see you with all of the conscious you bring. Because you're conscious, because you're living the present moment, because you're fulfilled, you have the energy, you have everything, you force your presence.
Yeah.
And that's why they will be forced to be attracted to you.
100%. 100%.
And that's one of the laws of attraction.
Right.
Yeah. So.
But it's a real thing. But you know what's crazy, man? I was thinking about this, and especially when I've gone through like really difficult times in my life, where I'm like almost like I don't know how to describe it, but it's like you're in the wilderness, right? And I thought about this, like I was like, man, when you're feeling so lonely and you feel like you want a certain type of woman in your life, and you think about how great you want this woman to be.
Wait, certain type of woman.
Like, in your mind, with the kind of woman you like, right?
Okay.
Like, you think about how wonderful this woman is. And then you ask yourself, okay, so you want this wonderful woman, but let's presume that this wonderful woman wants a wonderful man. Do you feel like you're a wonderful man yet? You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Think about it. Have you ever asked yourself this question before? And then you ask yourself, am I really that kind of, have I become a wonderful person yet?
But how can you know?
No, but ask yourself honestly. You talk about the expectations that you want from a woman.
No one is perfect.
No one is perfect. But I'm talking about the things, let's say you want from a woman, right?
Okay.
Then imagine the kind of things a woman would want from a man. And just think about it and think, do I fit all these things? And if you really ask yourself honestly, 90% of guys, no. 90% of guys know.
What?
Meaning they are not on that level of the. For example, you have a woman that let's say you rate her as 90
but
out of 100.
Why does she know that she's perfect?
No, she doesn't know. You think that she's perfect, right? You think this woman is perfect, and you rate her like 9 out of 10.
Okay, but she doesn't know.
Maybe she knows. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
You rate her 9 out of 10. You think she's amazing,
okay,
right? And you think that you deserve this amazing woman. But have you asked yourself, are you amazing? What's amazing about you? Like, why should you be able to get this amazing person? You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Okay, it's very complicated, but I get it. I mean, if you think about it this way, everyone will be single.
Well, no. Guess you know what happens? We all know that.
Because if we put ourselves like we are limited, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if I ask myself, am I perfect? I'm not perfect. Am I like the dream of every girl? No, I'm not. You know what I mean? So it will be a self-destruction.
I don't think so, bro.
For me.
I don't think so. You know why?
Why?
Brother.
Or
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What makes a good woman to you? What are the qualities of a good woman?
Qualities of good women. First of all, she needs to be conscious.
Okay.
She needs to be aware of her surroundings. She needs to be, how do I say it, fully present. She needs to match my energy as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the job of a man, in your opinion?
To provide.
Okay. Now, you ask yourself, you talk about a girl that is worth, that many men want because she fits all the qualities you said are good, right?
Yeah.
And so many men want her, which means she's very valuable, right?
Okay.
Right. Now, what makes you stand out from other guys that she should want you instead of the other guys?
Oh, okay. Okay, what makes you stand out? Oh, wow. Man, this is... I don't know. This is so deep.
But you have to ask yourself.
This is so deep. I never reached this point where I ask myself, am I that good? You know what I mean? Am I different?
Bro, the truth
But
doesn't matter.
the truth, yeah.
Tell me.
The truth is, not everyone. Well, I don't know. I'm just
Okay.
I'm just.
But here's the thing. The truth is, you said the job of a man is, for example, to provide.
Okay.
Are you the best provider in the world? You ask yourself
No.
that. No. So if you want to be with the best woman, make yourself the best version
provider.
of whatever it is that a woman would want in a man. If those are the good qualities of a man.
Okay, but we're back to the same point, the same first point.
Mm-hmm.
You're making a difference between a man and a woman, because if she's not making her best to be her best version, why should I be doing my best to be my best version? In that case, I will be needing someone else. No?
Brother, if you are the best version of yourself,
Okay.
you just said the law of attraction.
Okay.
If you are the best version of yourself, whatever kind of person you are in life, you attract those kind of people around you.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
So if you are the best version of yourself, you will also attract the best version of women as well in your life.
Okay.
Why do you think guys who are ultra successful, just think about it on a logical level.
Yeah.
Guys who are ultra successful and blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
They have so many options and they can get so many different girls. And then guys are complaining saying, oh, she's a gold digger and blah, blah. No, she's not a gold digger. She's looking at the best provider. In the old days when there was no money, it would be the strongest, biggest guy. Now today it's manifested in a different way.
And the money.
Women look for competence. It's not just about money. It's about competence and safety. Are you the most competent man? Are you competent enough? Are you going to give her the safety that she wants? That level of girl? If you say you want the best level of girl, I'm just saying you should be the best level of man.
Okay, you need to higher your standards.
Yeah. No, you need to improve yourself to get what you want in life. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, to attract
Yeah.
the woman that you like.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I get it. Now I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, because a lot of guys are like sitting down, they sit down and be like, oh, I like this girl, and if the girl doesn't like them back, they get bitter and they start hating on the women. Bro.
But if she rejected him based on his look, okay, outside look.
Wait, tell me.
How can he change? And like, it's not only in the, you know, like it's not only the providing stuff. Okay, maybe in some cases, yeah, it is. Like,
haven't you rejected girls because you don't like their looks?
For me personally, no, I haven't.
But do you go after girls when you don't like their looks?
No.
So why should a girl have to be forced to go for a guy if she doesn't like his looks?
Yeah, true.
It's not by force, man. Everybody has their preferences. If a girl doesn't want, move on to the next one. It's so simple, man.
It is.
No, because the reason why I'm saying this is because a lot of the time, man, we always talk about how girls want this and want that, But man, like honestly, we really ask yourself, if we ask ourselves as men as well, man, we really need to step up our game. Because how can I be like, I want this woman who's gonna be a good wife, a good mother? I asked myself this. And I'm talking about me now. I'm not talking about other guys. I asked myself at some point in my life, how can I say I want a woman that wants this, that is this and this, that? Those are good things, has good godly traits. I need to be that kind of man that kind of woman would follow. You know what I'm talking about? I need to be the kind of leader or kind of man that would be like, oh, this is a good man, or a man who is trying to be a good man that she can admire. I can't just sit down and say, oh, she should be like this. I want her to be like this.
Some females will accept you as you are. They will take you as you are. You know, you don't need to be.
Well, I'm not sure those are the kind of women I would want to be with then, bro.
Okay, so it's a personal choice then.
Okay, you know what?
It's back to you.
Not even that. Not even.
It's back to you then.
It's not even that I would not want to be with those kind of women, but it's just like
if she's so beautiful, you cannot deny. You cannot deny. If you are too high standards and you attract, you will also attract. Like, I'm not gonna say like it's a hierarchy or something, but you're gonna attract. Everyone will be attracted to you, right? You have the right to choose.
Exactly.
You have the right to choose. Imagine if the one who is attracted to you doesn't meet your standards, but she's so beautiful. What do you do in this case?
Brother, we talked about this like a few minutes ago. You think I'm gonna date a girl just because she's beautiful? Of course, her personality and her character is important.
Okay. Maybe his personality is also beautiful, but how are you gonna say it? Like, your mental qualification she doesn't meet something. Okay, one of the qualification. What do you do in this case?
Well, if I don't want her, I don't want her. It's no big deal, right?
Just let it go.
Yeah, if I don't want it, I don't want it. I mean, simple. It's very simple.
So, okay, you're going back to the same point that this is a personal choice. You're doing this because you want to get higher.
What I'm saying is, I think you
want to attract higher.
Yes, but the real essence of what I'm saying is
but maybe there is no higher. You know what I mean?
Khayrallah. Let's say you like a girl right now, this very moment. And I'm saying that in order to get, how would I put it to you? Okay, forget women. Let me give you another analogy.
But you get.
If I wanted to win the Ballon d'Or, the best player in the world, the award, obviously I'm going to have to work in a way that other people are not working. I'm going to have to be better than everybody. I have to do something different to get something that other people don't have. So if you're talking about something, 100%. I'm just saying, if men want a certain type of woman that is very valuable, you also have to be very valuable. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say?
It's like, now I get it. Okay. So how?
Bro, you know the answer to that question already, man.
Yeah, I know the answer to this question. But it's so hard.
You be a good provider.
You be a good provider.
Be a protector.
Okay.
Be a good leader. All these things that a man should be. And it takes time to become that man, right? You don't just become that man overnight.
Yeah.
Right?
You cannot gain wisdom as well.
Exactly. Wisdom comes with a lot of suffering sometimes, right? So it takes time. Patience. Sometimes you have to be patient for what you want.
But until then, how much time does it take?
How would I know? It depends. It's just like God works with different people with different things, right? I don't know, man.
No one can have all of these that you're talking about in 1 year, right?
No.
Or like, it takes time. You said it takes time. So you need to wait until you have all of them, until you have the privilege.
No, I'm not saying you have to wait till you have all of them, but I'm saying that if you...
To marry
someone. I'm saying that if you...
Or to be able to stand out.
No, I'm just saying that if you want a woman that has all the qualities that you want, and let's say you're not able to get that woman right now, don't be bitter about it. Don't complain. Just continue to build up until you have all the qualities that you need, and along the way, God being gracious to you, you will probably meet somebody who will fit that profile.
Okay, now I see. Now she's seeing you working on yourself, improving yourself. You will get her attention.
I'm not talking about one specific woman. I'm just saying that as you're working and building yourself in life, there are certain things you will attract in your life. And I'm saying along the way, if you are heading in the right direction in life, and this is also, in fact, primarily spiritually, then everything else, you will find that good thing, that good woman. Well, and also I will say this, it's not that it's just that easy, because then again you have to make the right decisions, because you could also make stupid decisions, you know. But if you are listening to God and you make the right decision and you are focusing on what God will have you do every day, it's inevitable that eventually you will find somebody who is perfect, who is just right for you.
Perfect, but not perfect.
Nobody's perfect, but you know what I mean, you know. Somebody can be, you can have an imperfect.
Yeah, I know what I mean. I know what I mean. You have a really good vision.
Well, I hope so. Thank you.
We can call it vision, right? Like, you have a really good vision for yourself and for your future self.
Right. Okay, let me put it this way, man. Like I said, I was honest with myself, and I realized that, look.
But you are dwelling in a lot. You are projecting a lot of thoughts into the future.
I'm projecting reality, not even in the future. I'm just talking about the now. Because, for example, let me give you a true, honest story.
How are you talking about the now?
I'll give you an honest story.
If you're dreaming about becoming this person,
right?
okay, and now you're not satisfied with your position, so you're constantly uncomfortable.
I didn't say I'm not satisfied. I said I just understand that maybe sometimes you're just not ready for something yet. You're on your way. You're on your way there.
This
you're
is
on
surrender.
your way.
This is the positive surrender to your life, to your life situation, right?
If you call it that, positive surrender.
Okay, positive surrender. Let's talk about how you can consider, like how you make the difference between life and life situation. Okay, life we cannot change it. Life situation we can't change it, right? We are the only one responsible. We are the only one who can get out of this situation. Okay. So if we kept projecting ourselves into the future and what it was going to be in the future and how we're going to be, and we will be always dissatisfied with what we are now.
But that's not true, man. If you know what your future is going to be like, you work towards it. And if you're working towards a goal, you cannot be dissatisfied if you're actually doing something about something. If you're just sitting down and imagining something and not doing anything about it, of course you'll be dissatisfied.
Yeah.
You're wasting your life. But if you see a goal and a vision and you are going after it every day and taking steps in the right direction, you will be satisfied with every step that you're taking. You know, only a fool thinks that he's going to wake up one day and he's going to get everything he wants just like that. You know, honestly, only a fool. But if you are smart enough, let me not use the word wise, or determined, you will know that every step in the right direction is something that you can celebrate within yourself and God. You don't even need to be able to celebrate to everybody else. But you know, okay, God wants me to do this. I'm on this path. I took one step today. I'm taking another step tomorrow. I took another step. Every little step is a positive step in the right direction. Why would you be dissatisfied? If you're dissatisfied, I guarantee it's one of two things. You must be comparing yourself to somebody else, which is like a form of covetousness. You must be looking at other people and comparing your life to them or something like that for you to be dissatisfied. But if you're focused on your journey, I don't see why you'd be dissatisfied.
So how can you know if this is my journey? This is my goal?
Well, that's only God can show you what your journey and your purpose is, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you need to have a relationship
but at
with
some
God.
point you need to know that I'm born for this.
Yeah, but only God will show you that, bro. You think you're going to figure it out yourself?
How can you describe people that are indecisive, for example?
Indecisive people. They don't know where they're going.
Exactly. They don't know where they're going. They don't know what's gonna happen. They don't know. They're just. I don't know if I should call it like living in the now. You know, living this moment only.
But indecisive in what sense?
In every sense. If they don't know what their purpose in life, they don't know what is their goal. You know, they're moving from something to something else.
Mm-hmm. And they have no goal.
No.
Well, that is the life of a man who has no relationship with God, no? But you know it's funny. Okay, to be honest, let me be honest.
So through God also, I can find my purpose in life.
100%. Not that you can, you will. 100%.
Okay.
And I think to a degree, every human being has a purpose of glorifying God. It's just in one way or another. Like we all have different ways that maybe God can choose for us to glorify Him. But every human being's purpose is to glorify God. However, now there are some people who don't acknowledge God, but they have always had very clear visions of their life, right? But when they do get to that level, and when they do achieve those visions of their life, then they now have to seek their purpose because there's nothing left. You understand what I'm saying? So purpose is even bigger than achievement of things that you want to achieve. Purpose is will be the sum of your life. Because there are people who have everything. They reach the top. Then they need to now start looking for their purpose. But what a blessing it is if you already know your purpose on the way to the top, to that top. Whatever it is for you. Top can be different for everyone.
So you mean like whenever they reach their goal, they still feel empty inside?
Yeah, they do. Because they've already done it. There's nothing left. It's like, I remember the thing I told you about winning a prize.
Yes,
bro.
You just put it on the shelf.
Literally, and I can tell you this, and this is the truth. I've experienced this in my life. I've worked hard for things that, let's say, I achieved, right? And I actually got it. And when I got it, the euphoria was incredible. But then after, it's like you have nothing. You feel so empty, you know? And I can give a true story of this, and I don't think I've talked about it in this way before. But when I was in Cyprus, when I was about 19 or 20, and I went to Cyprus a shy 18-year-old boy, first time leaving his family, and I was just like a nobody on campus. And the second year, a lot of things changed in my life. I started going to the gym, I started meeting people, I just became a different person. And then there was this Mr. University thing that we had on campus. which I reluctantly went for, because at first I was going in for like, I guess the wrong reasons. I don't know, whatever. But I ended up going for it. That's a long story in itself. And then I won. And it was like a big thing because in the University of Thousands to be like Mr. University, it's like, bro, everybody was like, I became like a big guy, a hotshot on campus. And I felt so good. And then I remember the summer after that was the most empty I had ever felt in my life, bro.
Whoa.
Like, I mean, bro, God knows, like, I don't want to exaggerate. Like, I felt so, like, dry. You know, like, I was like, so, okay. Now I got this, and like, now what? Like now what? Like, what? You know, and honestly, it was such a painful thing because it's like, you want to live on that high. You know, you had this high moment and you want to stay there, but it doesn't last.
It's like a drug.
You know? It's like a drug. You know, you want it again and you want it again. You know, but you unless you do something crazy to get it, you're not gonna get it again. You know, so I think the same thing happens for people who don't have God in their lives and they're just driven by what they want to achieve. Eventually, they get it.
Right?
Not instant gratification, but like they have a dream. Right? So there are some people who have a dream of something for their life. They don't believe in God, but they have a dream. Mm-hmm. And when they achieve that dream, their whole life was about achieving that dream. But when they do, it's like they're empty again because then they have nothing. And at that point in my life, I did not have the significance of God in my life the way I have it now. I'm not saying that I am the closest that I know God more than anybody else, but I'm saying just comparatively to myself. Between myself now and then, you know.
That's a fair comparison.
Yeah, just between my own self then and now. So it was so easy for me to like be so hurt and so empty because of that experience, you know, life being like this and then boom, you know. When you really find God, man, like, and you're really dwelling with God, I'm not saying you won't have low moments in life, but like, it's like you're projecting up. But even your low moments are never lower than the last low. It's like, it's almost like you go have a low moment, you're coming back up, but you're low, but you're still exactly, you're still going because you're on this journey, you know, and you're going, and you know where you're going.
True.
Know?
But if you think about it, the bad things that happen to us in our life are just for the good, for the better good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for example, if something bad happened to one of us or to anyone, okay, it's just something that has to happen in order for something better to come, you know, to fill its place.
Is this for everybody
it's the cycle. Right. It's the cycle of living. That's how it's complete, you know. You cannot complete it with all good or all bad. Okay. So, you know, go back to the same point.
That's a good point. But do you think that point applies to everybody or just people who are?
No, it's for everyone. That's the beauty of it. It's for everyone. You know what I mean? You don't take the loss as a loss. You take it as a better good. Mm-hmm. You know?
Something to learn from.
Exactly. If you take it as an experience for you, you deal with it peacefully. You let it come through you.
But not everybody does that, right?
Not everybody could do this. Yeah. Exactly. That's
so why is it that some people are able to do this and some are not?
Because some people found... I don't want to repeat the peace, but found the peace within themselves.
How?
And they can deal.
How did they find this peace?
Through God.
That's what I wanted. I was just trying to see. That was okay. Fine.
Yeah, that's the point.
All these good things work out for people who have God in them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay. I wanted to see if that's what you thought. And,
yeah, exactly. We cannot deny that this is a fact. Yeah. This is a fact.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but is it the only way?
I would say so. For sure.
A lot of people will question that. Is it the only way through? How can you feel the essence of everything around you when you are home alone, or how you can feel the silence? For example, does silence exist without the sound?
That's a good point. Does good exist without evil?
Yes. You know what I mean? Like,
that's a good point. That's a really good point. I like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you think about it, if sound didn't exist, we only know silence, right?
Yeah.
But because sound existed, silence.
We know what silence is.
Silence exists.
And vice versa, right?
Vice versa.
That's a good point. That is a very good point, man. That is a very good point. Yeah. And you know what's crazy about that? Because it even goes back to the origin of the world we live in today, right? Because, you know, Adam and Eve at the beginning didn't know what good and evil was. They just lived, which is a perfect way to live. Imagine that. You can do whatever you want. There's no evil, there's no good. It's just Simple. But they messed it up, and now we have a consciousness of good and evil. And like, trust me, that was not a blessing. That was like a curse on humanity. To be able to know all that. But you're right. You're right. That's a good analogy, man.
Yeah, and once you accept what is, you will find yourself.
The truth.
Just live. Just live the now, the present moment. This is all like. Whatever it comes, it will come. Whenever, everything is waiting for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but to a degree, I do think that you should not allow yourself to be tossed with the wind in life. To a degree.
Oh, yeah, it's different. Like, tossed with the wind. Look, for Islam, it's kind of a different. We have free will, but within a predetermined path.
So everybody's path is predetermined?
Yes.
So if everybody's path is predetermined, then nobody should go to hell, right?
It's a good question, but I don't have enough knowledge to be able to answer this question. But it is something. It is something that exists.
Yeah.
But a lot of people believe in this.
I know, but to be honest, I just think if everybody's path is predetermined, then nobody should go to hell, because then if people go to hell, it means that God created them to go to hell, which we know God did not create people to go to hell. So if everyone's path is predetermined, then what's the use?
So that's the real question.
Trying to be good.
That's the real question.
Yeah,
but we cannot deny that God didn't try to enlighten you throughout your day, your life. You know what I mean?
True, but if it was predetermined, then that means that God Himself decided that you will not be enlightened.
You will end up in hell.
Exactly. So I don't think in my opinion, I don't think it's likely that God would do that, because I think free will, and if you talk about general free will, then someone's life being predetermined by God. I think God can predetermine some people's lives, by the way. I just don't think it's everybody's life.
Can?
Does, but I don't think it's everybody's life.
Why do you have this discrimination? You know what?
I don't think it's discrimination, but I am looking at it.
Why He chose people to know their past and chose people not to know their past?
That's something
you cannot reach the perfect point. You cannot reach the.
But you have to ask God that question. I think God has given everybody the ability to make it to heaven, 100%. If God says that He did, then He did. So if God has given everybody the chance to make it to heaven, then for sure, not everybody's life is predetermined, for sure. Because that would be a contradiction then.
Yeah, I get what you mean. But it is there.
Or God predetermined someone's life to go a certain way, but gave them the free will to not go down the path that He chose for them.
You can do this.
So then that means that they didn't
predetermine their life. But the thing is, you cannot forget that you have free will with this predetermined path. So you choose whether you want to have sex or not. Mm-hmm. You will choose whether you steal or not. Mm-hmm. Do you think the only thing that is stopping us from doing all of these 7 sins, big sins, is only God?
I think it depends on the individual, right?
Or it's only religion?
Depends on who you're asking.
It's the only thing that's stopping us? Without it, we'll be living like barbarians?
Probably.
So we need something to work on in order for us to function.
I think if we are God conscious and the love of God is in us, that keeps us from doing these evil things. But I think when it's not there, for sure we would do evil things if we felt that we had to.
So we don't have empathy anymore.
So I think if
we stole, if we did, imagine if a world without religion.
Yeah.
There would be no empathy.
I don't really know. I can't speak so much for religion, but I will speak directly for God consciousness and love, because for me, religion is more like a rule set thing and all that kind of thing. But I think love transcends all of that and is above all the laws. Mm-hmm. But okay, let's even speak about religion. If there was no religion in and of itself, and it was just, people doing whatever they wanted to do, and people had no consciousness of God through religion,
okay,
I think people would do crazy stuff. Empathy is something you can lose easily. Your conscience can be shaped by yourself.
Yeah,
you can choose.
Are humans.
That's what I mean. I mean in the sense that you can choose what you decide is right and wrong. You may feel that something is wrong, but if you do it long enough and tell yourself it's right long enough, you will believe that it's right. Mm-hmm. It's like, bro, when you see people doing crazy things, if you see someone raping somebody or something like that, do you think that when they were born, they thought it was right to do that? But situations have forced them to adopt the mindset that it's okay. They have decided in their conscience that it's okay to do what they do.
Is it conscious that decide this, or unconsciousness coming from previous experience?
It could be both, right?
Like a conscious mind wouldn't choose to rape someone, you know?
No, consciously, yes, you do, because it's your choice.
Yeah, right? But it's like something you cannot change within you, okay? Something that you kept inside for a long time, and you need to let it out. I'm talking about the sexual needs, okay?
Right.
That's why you'll rape.
Right.
At some point.
But then that comes from a lack of self-control, right?
Exactly. So we're in control. A conscious mind wouldn't do this.
No, a conscious mind would do it by choosing not to exercise self-control. You cannot. No, if you're saying that they're not conscious of what they're doing, that means you're saying that they had no free will in the moment that they did it.
Yeah. No. I'm not saying that maybe they have not. Yeah. Maybe they don't have free will.
They do have free will.
No. Wait. Let me say something. Do you know that scientists could know 300 milliseconds before you choose anything? Okay. The choice that you're going to pick.
Well, I haven't heard about that, but I don't even know if that's true.
It's scientifically proven.
Bro, a lot of things are scientifically proven that are not actually true.
Yeah, but
how did they prove it? Tell me, how did they prove that?
They put something on the head. I don't know, experiments. Okay, but they could know. They could know what you're going to choose based on your unconscious, because your unconscious mind will send to your conscious mind, and you would choose it.
But they don't know what is in your unconscious mind that sent that to your conscious mind, right?
I don't know details, but I know.
No, but I'm saying, but they still don't know what triggered that person to choose what.
No, right. They don't know.
Bro,
but
your spirit.
You don't have free will.
Bro, you do have free will. Everything you're saying to me, you're saying it because you actually choose to say it and you believe it. You're telling me about this science thing because you actually find it interesting. You're telling me
it is interesting.
Okay, but if we don't have free will, we would all think the same things. We would all say the same things. We would all act the same way.
Yeah, but we cannot say that I raped this girl, okay, because not because I have full conscious and I did it.
100% people have full consciousness and do evil things. 100%.
In that case, why there is some judgment cases, okay, in the court where people will be mentally ill. They will reduce their.
Bro, if somebody is mentally ill and they find a person mentally ill,
how do you define mentally ill?
That's a good question, right? That's a good. How do you find a mentally ill person? Well, a person that acts abnormal, I guess.
Everyone acts abnormal.
Sometimes. You think so? Right, but generally speaking, there's a general level of abnormality.
Okay.
But then again, I don't care what the courts say because they're not God. These are people who are acting on the limited, by the way, knowledge that they have. We all have limited knowledge of things. So it's like any institution or any human body that's acting on anything, it's still going to be flawed. It's going to have errors because it's still human.
So you will choose what you're going to do, and you will do it either way. Even if it's bad.
What do you mean?
It would go to the point that you are conscious about what you're doing, and you know it's very bad, and you know it will harm society, you know it will harm the person, but you still do it.
Bro, because there are two choices like this. It's like two things in front of you. You know that what you're going to do is going to harm somebody, but it benefits you to do it in that moment. And life is let's take much more simpler things. Let's say somebody is an alcoholic. They know that alcohol is bad for them, drinking too much, but they like it in the moment. So they choose the current pleasure over the long-term harm. And it's the same principle that applies to every evil. Someone choosing the current thing that suits them over the harm that it causes maybe somebody else. It's just a matter of being selfish. And selfishness comes from pride. And pride was the original sin of mankind, of the devil. Pride. And that's the cycle of the world, man. Brother, we have had a wonderful discussion, but I think we need to wrap it up because we've been talking for like almost an hour right now.
Thank you so much for having me.
Man, anytime. I mean, this was one of the most fun conversations ever, man.
Thank you so much.
Guys.
It's really a pleasure.
He's smart, isn't he? Stay tuned to the Unlimited Power podcast because the power is unlimited. Blessed by God, as always. Anyways, have a good one, guys. Peace.